It is so important as a first-time author. Read the reviews of the publishing company. Research what books they have published, books that are similar to your book. Speak to somebody at the company.
And remember to do research for the price average. Would you like to know how to self-publish a children's storybook? We have Maria Kawah Leung, the author of Little Heroes of Bay Street, today with us. She is going to share with us her experience and the process of self-publishing a children's storybook. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Jamie. So I published this book because it's a very, very personal story. I grew up watching my father hurt my mother, and I thought my family was the only one in the whole world going through this experience. I spoke with nobody about it. And so it was a very frightening, lonely experience. And I would like children out there to know they are not alone. It happens to many, many families all through the world. And I would also like teachers to have this as a resource, or counselors, anybody who works with children, so that they can read this book with those children or notice signs and symptoms of these children.
Ah, I see. Could you briefly tell us about the storybook?
This first book is set in San Francisco, my hometown. So there are street names and the famous Muni 30 Stockton bus and Dr. Donald D. Rose, who was a very, very well-loved, popular DJ from the 70s. So people, San Franciscans, will enjoy reading about that. And my next project will be based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, my second home. And I look forward to writing that one. So this is about a little girl who, it's autobiographical in nature. I am Mia, and Happy Dog is the other hero. And we grew up together, having lots of fun, playing, and we learned to cope with the fear of Mia watching her father hurt her mother. And they stay strong in the story through talking with the teacher, talking with trusted other grown-ups. And that is the message I want to get out to other children.
Okay.
It has a happy ending, most importantly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are curious about the story and curious about the ending, you should get one copy from...
You can email me, and the link will be below, or check out my website.
Okay.
And the audiobook is on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you can check out the link for the audiobook. Can you introduce a little bit of yourself as an author?
So ever since I was a child, I loved reading books, and then I enjoyed drawing as a child, and all throughout school I enjoyed writing, and the teachers enjoyed reading my writing. So I just thought this is a really good vehicle to get the word out there about domestic violence.
So you started as a psychologist?
Well, I entered university in the psychology department thinking that's how I wanted to work with little children. But a year or two into the program, I realized I would get too emotional, too involved. And so that would not be healthy. You know, I'd want to adopt every one of the children.
Yeah.
So I turned to education instead. So I've been teaching for almost 30 years.
I think teaching is just a portion of being a teacher, right?
Correct, yes. Teaching reading and writing and math, of course, are important, but that is just a fraction of a teacher's responsibility. In this day and age, a teacher plays many roles. For instance, we're a counselor to first-time mothers because they need your guidance how to best raise the children. And you are a counselor to the whole family, or you are a mentor to the children. So it's so important that teachers look at the whole child and help them holistically.
Yeah, be there emotionally and socially.
Correct, socially, emotionally. That's so important to a child's development, to be socially and emotionally strong.
I have the pleasure to be the translator of your book. So Can you tell us what's the translation work that you have put into the project?
So, although I grew up speaking Cantonese, and then as a grown-up I learned Mandarin, my written language is not strong enough, I felt, to translate my book. So I had the pleasure of finding Jamie, who very diligently translated the entire book, including researching the names of streets in San Francisco. Originally, I was just going to leave them in English, but she took it a step further. And then my good friend in Xiamen, Fujian, China, Emily Zhang, did the final edit and added the nuances between the English and Chinese languages.
And tell us a little bit more about your upcoming projects.
So during lockdown in Malaysia, MCO, in San Francisco, my hometown, it's called Shelter in Place. I made use of that time very wisely. I had the book translated into Chinese, and another copy will be published in the future in Spanish and also in Bahasa Melayu. And I have written another book, just a first draft, with the main character as a little boy. So that would be in honor of my brother who is in heaven.
Why do you choose self-publishing?
Good question. If I had chosen the traditional publishing route, then I would have to find an agent. I'd have to send out letters upon letters and get rejection letters upon rejection letters. And that would be a very lengthy process. I wanted full control of my book, and I didn't want to waste time because I wrote this book actually over 10 years ago.
10 years?
Yes, but I had trouble finding an illustrator. So I feel this is long overdue. I am mad at myself for the children that I didn't help in the last 10 years because of my procrastination. So self-publishing allows you to have full control of the content and of the illustrations, and that's what I wanted. It was very important to me that it was my book.
The story of Little Heroes of Bay Street is written based on the real story of when you was a child.
Yes.
And let's look at the cover. This is Mia, and this is Happy Dog. And I find that Mia is pencil drawing and Happy Dog is pastel drawing,
oil
right?
pastel, yes.
Yeah, and it seems like two person draw these pictures. And also I found some background photos and pictures. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Sure.
The meaning behind it.
So I am the illustrator of Happy Dog because I grew up with him. I know him best. I thought I would like to be illustrating him and all his funny features. And I cannot draw people, so I hired a very gifted, talented young artist named Sandra Chavez, who was only 17 when she drew Mia. And I specifically like the idea that she is in pencil so that she doesn't have a specific skin color. Although she's an Asian character, you know, I would like to reach as many children as possible. And then my third artist is actually a little my former kindergarten student from Norway, Maren Slær Asgard. And I actually used her actual drawings from when she was 5. And now she is 13.
Okay, I know that in this storybook we have a character named Mr. Nelson. Yeah, what about him?
So Mr. Nelson was a dear gentleman who was in charge of valet parking on the street where I grew up. And but I don't remember his name because I was so young. And Nelson Mandela being one of my biggest heroes, I thought, okay, I will call him Mr. Nelson. And I asked Sandra, the artist, to draw a cross between Barack Obama and Louis Armstrong, because that is what the real man looked like. And so it was very special to me. He saved my mother's life, because when my mother was crossing the street and struck by a car, he called 911 and saved her life. And so he was very important to our family.
Nice.
And Sandra is the teacher in the story, but that is fictional, completely fictional, because there was no teacher who helped me through what I was experiencing. And that's why this book is so important. And that character is fictional.
Yeah.
But I wanted the heroes to all be minorities: Asian, African, Hispanic. Yeah. Because since I grew up in San Francisco, and San Francisco is very multicultural.
Okay. And also I found some pictures of you and your siblings, right? What about that?
Yes, those are photos from my personal photo albums. And I thought it would be important to honor my mother and father with those real photos of us when we were little. The black and white one is when we were at the airport leaving Hong Kong to immigrate to the US. And there's one with my very dear Uncle Peter in at the San Francisco Zoo when I was about 5 years old. And there's a photo of my good friend 𝘬𝙧𝙎𝙪 𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙧, who is also a published author, nonfiction and fiction. And a photo of my fourth grade teacher, who was an inspiration to me, 𝘬𝙗𝙗 𝙤𝙗𝙗, who has since gone to heaven. Yeah, so each photo has a very special meaning.
One question that I want to help the first-time author to ask is, what are the important precautions that they need to aware of if they are planning to self-publish a book?
Yes, it is so important as a first-time author to read the reviews of the publishing company, of previous clients. Research what books they have published, books that are similar to your book. Speak to somebody at the company. Ask questions. What kind of paper, for instance? I was so naive, I didn't know until I received the book that the paper quality is.
Yeah, and the format, you want it to be landscape or?
Oh, yes. Something so basic. My book was in landscape, and they said they had no way of printing landscape. So they would print my book as a calendar with the binding on the top, spiral binding, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah, so you have to be, you should not compromise what you want to what they can provide to you.
And I would like to help future authors know, so that you can avoid a lot of stress.
Yeah, and remember to do research for the price average.
Yes, I was, again, very naive. I didn't research what prices of the average children's picture book is, and you should know all those things.
And you can check what are the...
Yes, if they have published any books that are similar to yours.
If our audience wants to buy this book, where can they buy it?
It can be purchased online through Amazon or Book Depository or Barnes & Nobles, or you can contact me directly.
If you're a school and you want to order more copy for the students, you can contact directly to Maria at this email address, and check out Maria's website at mariagawa.com.
I recently had the privilege of Ms. Hannah Yeoh reading my book on Facebook Live. And Hannah Yeoh is the former Deputy Minister of Women, Family and Community Development. She's also currently a Member of Parliament for P117 Segambut here in Kuala Lumpur. If you would like to hear Hannah Yeoh reading that story, then you can please check out the link in the description below. In 2019, my good friend Eileen Ho, director of English Champ School, invited me to this wonderful event by Child Rights Coalition Malaysia. And there I met people at Women's Aid Organization who do great work in raising awareness about domestic violence and how to advocate for these children's rights. And I plan to do more work with them in this great cause. In the back of my book, at the end of the story, there are pages, resource pages and information pages, where you can find out more information about Women's Aid Organization here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
please check out the previous video. We are talking about domestic violence and the personal experience that Maria had in the past. If the video resonates with you, please share and help to raise awareness of the community. And if you find this video helpful, share it with your friends who are the first-time author, wants to know more about self-publishing, and like the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thank you for watching, and thanks, Maria.
Thank you, Jamie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.